Impact segment tonight, defending America from the al-Qaeda surge in Syria and Iraq. As you may know, the ISIS army is controlling about a third of Iraq right now and is threatening Baghdad. President Obama proceeding very cautiously, as we stated. Is that the correct course? Join us in Washington, Lieutenant Colonel Tony Shaffer, Senior Fellow at the London Center for Policy Research, and from Boston, Colonel David Hunt, Fox News military analyst. So if you were President of the United States, Colonel, what would you do?
I'd let it burn. Iraq is just about to fall completely. ISIS, if they look sideways at us, yes, kill them. And from a counter-terrorist standpoint, we should not get in, as we did not in Syria. We should not get in the middle of this war. It's been going on for 1,000 years. Americans have done enough. 300 special forces on the ground. I promise you that the president's sending is wrong. They're not staying in Baghdad. They're going to the field to advise. Otherwise, they have no help.
Okay.
I think this is a place we should not go back to.
And the logical conclusion of letting it burn is that it would be a stalemate, because Iran would come in, fight on the Shia side. The ISIS terror army couldn't defeat them. So you would have a de facto country that the south would be run by Iran and the north would be run by the al-Qaedas, with the Kurds carving out their little piece. Now, from the al-Qaeda stronghold in the north, these people base. These people organize. These people get stronger, as they did in Afghanistan, and they launch attacks on Israel. They launch attacks on America, this and that. So you're willing to let that happen, Colonel Hunt?
No, I'm not letting it happen, Bill. And you know me better. I said that's not what I said. If ISIS starts that stuff, we wipe them. The problem right now is if you start shooting at them inside Mosul and
from the air, right?
Just. No, we can send teams. We can send counterterrorism teams. And I do not want us. We should have learned. Do not get in the middle of this civil war right now.
But you're not really clearly answering my question. Give it some thought. Let's go to Colonel Shaffer. You disagree with Colonel Hunt, right?
I do.
Okay.
I do. No. I love Dave, but he's wrong on this. They've already threatened us. They're going to threaten us. They're trying to create conditions so that they can start sustaining themselves and create camps to do things to attack us here. They've already said that. So what the president said today, he should have said 6 months ago. The intel peace bill should have already been working hard. And we need to look at two things right now. First off, define our strategic interests. Clausewitz once said, war is policy by other means. We need to define what our policy interests are. President Obama didn't do that today. One of them we need to be concerned about are the oil fields. And I don't mean to make this simply about oil, but the Kurds are going strong to try to establish their own state. Dave, you've been there. You've seen that they're autonomous. We need to be helping them. And for goodness sake,
all of that, Americans are getting a headache of that, and I don't blame them. I want to know, Colonel Shaffer, what you would do about this al-Qaeda army. That's what I want to know. I don't care about the Kurds tonight. I don't care about the other stuff. What would you do about the al-Qaeda army?
All right, we have a larger policy that on my senator's website. With that said, two things immediately. You need to figure out the centers of gravity of ISIS, and you can slow it down. Airstrikes and drones and special operations forces only will deny the enemy progress. We need to stop that now. Stop the bleeding now. And then
Tony, there's no center of gravity. Tony,
let me finish.
There's no center of gravity with ISIS.
Yes, there is.
Hold
it. Okay, look. So you say, Colonel Shaffer, that you would use air power on them now to try to weaken them. Is that correct?
You need to slow down their progress.
Okay.
They are not giants.
Let me get over to Colonel Hunt. Let me get over to Colonel Hunt. So, if we do what you suggest, and it burns, and then the stalemate comes to pass, which it would, then you have these crews going in between Syria and Iraq. Do you attack them there, Colonel Hunt?
I got no problem with killing ISIS, which is not al-Qaeda, Bill. It's a separate, absolute organization. And the head of ISIS we had in prison in 2009 and let him go.
Exactly.
I got no problem killing ISIS. You do not get in the middle of a Shia-Sunni war again.
All right, I got that.
Period. You don't do it. I have no problem killing ISIS. Let this thing settle. Do not look. How about we lose a couple of special forces guys? We get a plane shot down. We're up to our eyeballs again. No.
All right. Gentlemen, thanks very much. We appreciate it.